When was the first time you discovered Asatru, if you can even remember? Jordan, since you show up on my list first, you're first.
I didn't even know that anyone was still into it until I found out about TAC.
Okay, let's put this question more. What brought you to Heathenry? Yeah, how you discovered it and what brought you to it.
Originally it kind of started as a joke between me and a friend because we'd been agnostic for a long time, had huge issues with Christianity, and the joke between us was, well, if there's got to be some kind of God out there, why not let the old gods make a comeback?
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of became a running thing and just evolved from that.
That's good. Since I show up next, I will go. Um, I was raised what we call a submarine Catholic. We surfaced for Christmas and Easter, and that was about it. Years ago, probably about 16, 17 years ago now, I discovered my maternal mother's name. Found out that I had two sisters and who I call my stepdad. I met them when I went up to Connecticut, and just during random talks, I don't even remember how it came up now. It came to light that my mother was a Dianic witch. She was in a Dianic coven when she got pregnant with me, and her extremely Catholic father forced her to give me up for adoption. So that kind of started my search. That was when the internet was still very small. It started my search into what Wicca was, what a Dianic coven was, and it just kind of, I kept landing on Asatru. And I'd look into it and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool, and pass. And then I always came back to it. And about 15 years ago, it was just, it was one of those awakenings like, yeah, I can't deny it anymore. I can't run away from it. So here I am. Eric, you're next.
First heard about it in the mid 90s, I guess, but the guys that I met were real douchebags. So I sort of stayed with the mainstream, which at that time, which was Wicca.
Mm-hmm.
Always had an interest, but something always held me back. And then a couple of years ago, I had been getting a pull towards heathenism, and I was asked to bring Odin in for the opening ritual for Pagan Pride Day in Austin, and he came in with a vengeance. I started getting serious about looking into heathenism and came this way.
Does Jen want to share?
Nope, not tonight.
Okay. Amy, you're next. Or here, Amy, you start typing. Nicole, you go while she's typing. You got to unmute first. There you go.
Okay. Well, I was raised in a pagan family, but they weren't practicing because they were too busy doing things they shouldn't do. But I pretty much was, when it came to anything spiritual, my great-grandmother was a secret pagan because my grandfather was so devout. So, and he hid all of the stuff that she did in her recipe box because my grandfather wasn't allowed in the kitchen. So everything that I learned about when it came to like paganism, because it was more pantheistic in nature, came from her. And it had to do, we actually were able to trace back. I had a grandmother a long time ago banished from Scotland for practicing witchcraft. She was charged with harboring a fae, so they branded her and banished her. So my family's from the East Coast, and she taught me about all that. And I grew up all my life doing paganism, and so when I went to college, I couldn't cut it out in the medical field, so I took cultural anthropology so I could get more into, learning about the cultures and the paganism and all that. And my area of expertise was the occult. So I did that, and I took world religions and everything to tie in so I could understand and learn more. And I've always been solitary because the way that I practice, it involves, the trancing and blood magic and stuff like that. And that's very taboo in a lot of certain occult practices, especially with Wicca. So I've always not had community. I've always been very solitary and practiced alone. And there would maybe be a few people who, didn't mind what I did. But I've never actually had community. Y'all are the first. So this is my
what a welcome you had.
So this is my first time having to interact with other people. So here I am.
Nice. So you basically inherited a recipe box of shadows.
I wanted it, but they decided, because they're all crazy Christian fundamentalists, that it was the devil's work and that they needed to get rid of it, and that they only wanted her to have a good name set to her as a good Christian woman. So everything she had is gone.
I'm sorry.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of it up here. It's all good.
You need to write it down on recipe cards and stick it in a recipe box.
I do.
Okay. Short version. I was raised Christian, strict Christian, and it just never felt right. Many experiences throughout my life that just always left me with questions. Eventually, about 5 years ago, some crazy things began happening, and I sort of fell from my family's religion. I started digging around and found Wicca, found runes, got hooked, kept digging, saw heathenism, encountered with a particular deity or force, and kept getting pulled in. Heathenism refused to leave me. Yeah. Only thing that felt like home. Yeah. I think a lot of us have kind of had that pull, and that the only way to describe it is kind of like what you said. It's kind of like a coming home. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it's somewhere in the house. You don't learn. What you're learning is a gentle awakening. You're just remembering what you've already known, or something like that. And that one's always resonated with me.
That's close, yeah.
Yeah. It's on my wall. I'll go back in eventually. What are you doing, Fred?
I can say for me, it was coming home too, because I've been technically a Wiccan. They've called me a hedge witch for a lot of years because I wasn't really practicing Wicca. It still felt like coming home with heathenism, because I'm like, yeah, those are the pieces that were missing in what I was doing.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely interesting when that call happens. You cannot deny it. Can you, Fred? No. Hang on, I gotta show you my kitty now.
Hello, everyone.
You're here. Say hi. Say hi. This is Freya, one of our 6 cats, because my husband is the crazy cat man. I know. There's too many of you, huh? You can stay. Okay, Josh, since you just jumped in, the first question was, how did you find heathenry? How did you find heathenry? That was the question, right? Yeah. How did you find Asatru and heathenry?
So I started with fascination when I took a world mythology class in college. We chose to do a report on Thor, and we had to do 4 presentations. 3 of the 4 were all on Norse mythology. And that kind of sparked my interest, and so I looked more and more into it. I was agnostic at the time, thinking that I knew there was something out there, but wasn't quite sure what, and I knew that Christianity wasn't it. I was a recovering Mormon at the time, and then my wife took interest in the show Vikings. We were kind of watching that, so I just kept doing more and more research in the 2 years from my college days, and found out that people actually still worship the Norse gods, and so I kind of looked more into the practice and different stuff like that, and it felt right to me, and so that's what I chose to do.
Good answer.
Oh, thank you.
We have Amy with us tonight, who is new. She has no mic or camera, so she's speaking through the chat, which I don't think you can see on your phone.
Okay. I'm going through it now.
This is Josh. He was our military ambassador with TAC. I'm going to just put it out there and blame everything on Josh. He posted that he was leaving first. So I'm just the follower. It's his fault.
It's all my fault. Apparently, I know that was it C also left. I've heard other people have too, but I'm not sure.
Last I checked, which was about 20 minutes ago, when I got kicked from South Central, we had 50 members. We currently have 35.
Nice.
I should say they. And Aaron, I talked to him today. He's going to leave. He just hasn't had a chance to do anything. Aaron just got back from a Celtic festival. He just joined the Jomsborg reenactment something or other. Oh, God. The reenactment thing. So they went to the Celtic festival, and basically they were a bunch of Vikings invading the thing. Where is Aaron?
I don't know.
Hang on, let me message him.
See if Aaron wants to stay until the end of November when he can be kicked out anyway, just so he can
Feed us information.
Lynette left today too.
All right.
Yeah, Lynette left and she actually joined us.
Oh, okay.
Nicole poached us a member.
I didn't really poach her though.
I didn't either, but apparently Seth thinks I did. Okay, what was my second question? Oh, my computer's almost dead.
You're not supposed to be shooting people out of season now. You remember that. Come on.
Hold on, there's
Yesterday,
a season?
yesterday was day opener for deer season because my kids didn't have soccer, and guess who was in the hospital? So I couldn't go sit in my deer stand all morning. Just a little upset. Okay, what brought you to Heathenry? What attracted you to Heathenry? One of the biggest, I'd say, and I'm not going to pronounce this word correctly. Someone teach me to hunt. I will teach you to hunt. I hunt deer and boar, and my car hunts bunnies and squirrels. And my dogs hunt chickens.
I almost bagged 2 deer with my truck tonight.
Oh, nice.
Hey, it's right?
It depends. Sometimes the meat's too fucked up to use. And then you got to pull like pebbles and rocks out of it. One of the biggest, I guess I'd say, adversaries against heathenry, we have 2, at least 2 to me. Pop culture and neo-Nazis. A lot of people do come to heathenry and Asatru through Marvel movies, through Vikings TV shows. How do you personally feel pop culture has either positively influenced Asatru or negatively influenced Asatru? Jordan, you first.
Oh, I wouldn't have even found out that there were still practicing heathens if it wasn't for shows like Vikings. Because that's when I actually started looking around to see if there still was anybody out there.
Oh, nice. Now, how do you feel about the people who come to Asatru through shows like that who, now the very name Asatru means true to the gods. How do you feel about the people who come to Asatru to play Viking? All my coyotes are yelling.
Oh, if you're willing to learn, it's one thing. If you're just being a jackass, then you're just a jackass.
That's a good answer. Mine's kind of twofold. Can y'all hear that? At least for us, I have many children, many spawns. Shows like Thor and the Avengers kind of help my sons relate their religion to the kids at school. They're able to, if it's thundering at school and they're like, oh, look, like Thor's mad, he's smashing his hammer, and they're all like, oh yeah, we know him from the show. My kids can get up and say, well, yes, he's on that show, but, and they finally have a social way to relate religiously to their peers at school. Our school, just the area we live in, is so Christianized. We have something called Meet You at the Flagpole, which is where all the kids get together before school and pray. They pray before football games. The teachers will send home notices in the kids' backpacks about church events. So they finally have a way to relate to their peers through religion. It also, to me, negatively affects us because, hi, love, we get people like, I don't know, we get people who want to play Viking. They think that Asatru and Heathenry is, oh, you're hurting me, is all it is playing Viking, reenacting Vikings. They don't ever look deeper into it besides the major gods and Vikingism, Vikining, I don't know. So to me, that's where I get the negative aspect of it. If you're going, like Jordan said, if you're going to come to us and you're going to learn and you're going to study and you're not going to solely play Viking, I have a problem with that because that gives a lot of negative connotation to our religion as a whole. Eric, you are next. Amy, start typing because you're after Eric. Eric ran away.
No, the question was how do I feel about the media and the popularity? Okay.
Yeah, how do you think pop culture has influenced Heathenry?
I think it is both. It's got its negatives. It's going to bring in a lot of people that want to be brosatrues, but it's also going to bring in a lot of sincere people. I've also kind of, I kind of cheat because back in traditional paganism, I was Celtic before it was cool, and then Braveheart came out. So I've been through this before. But what'll happen ultimately is the people who are sincere will stick around, and the ones who aren't will find another fad to jump on. It's just a matter of biding your time and patience until the insincere ones are gone, and you have the ones like Jordan.
Good answer. Amy, positively it brings people in, negatively many expect one thing and get another. Many don't want to do the homework and instead rather continue to play Viking out of laziness. Everyone beat me to my opinion though. Yeah, I'll go backwards next time. Nicole, you are up. Does everyone see everyone else in the same order I see everyone?
The order I see starts with me, then you, Amy, Eric, Josh, Nicole.
Okay, I'm sticking to mine. Nicole, you're up. Because that will confuse me, and I get confused easy.
So my thing about it is this. The issue I have with it is mainly, well, first off, people are watching this stuff and they look into it because they think it's very interesting, and then they realize, oh, these other people. But like when it comes to like Vikings and stuff, the thing is Michael Hurst has a very bad habit when he does these shows of taking actual historical figures and then, taking his artistic license and making this whole his own history of it. And people don't realize that, and they just take it as it is, because he also did the show The Tudors. So people automatically thought that show was an actual historical reenactment of how Henry VIII was and what happened with the Tudor dynasty. So they're taking that and they're applying it to the Vikings. So when they do that, they come into this thinking that they don't have to do any actual research into these people. They just know that at one point they were considered historical figures and that it's being portrayed to them correctly. And I've also noticed that a lot of people use Asatru as a way of justifying their anger. So they come into this without ever actually like wanting to do the studying and reading the Eddas and reading the Havamal and applying it to their life. They just use it as a reason to be able to be angry and to use violence, which is one of the reasons why a lot of them seem to be attracted to it in prison. And that's when you get the fascism with the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists into it. So it's just basically, it is a fad sometimes, but this is like any religion. I mean, there was a huge influx of Christians after the whole Passion of the Christ thing. So it just doesn't seem to really matter. But the thing is what gets to me is when all this stuff happens, you have to be the bigger person, and you have to take these people and guide them into the right direction and fix those other people's mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Amy just said, and drinking. Yeah, a lot of people connotate Vikingism with alcoholism. They are two separate entities. Josh, are you done sucking on your
Oral fixation.
your pink?
It's red. It's not pink.
It's pink. Okay, what? No, it's pink.
No, it's like a lightsaber red. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's not BB-8. It's pink. Your turn.
I will fight you. I think, kind of just reiterating what other people say, it's kind of good because it does bring people in. However, not everyone is willing to put in the work. Good to get people in, but then they've got to understand what it really encompasses being part of it or following that path. You can't just watch a TV show and just think you know what you're doing kind of deal. My biggest negative draw sides are the Vikings and all of the shield maidens as well, and people who just are self-proclaimed warriors. It's like, no, just because you're this, you're not a warrior. You're not a Viking. Vikings are long, long, long gone, and even when they were there, Vikings were really just a small time frame compared to Heathenry or Asatru, whatever you want to call it, whatever they called it back in the day. It's a very, very small time frame of what Vikings did or what they were compared to the whole faith in general in the ancient times. So even saying that because that we're all Viking stuff is stupid. As a military member, you get a lot of the so-called warrior types, and a lot of people who just haven't actually ever seen combat and are okay, even those who have are okay with shooting people from a distance kind of deal. It's not the same. I look at it's not the same kind of warriors back in the day. Like, you can maybe shoot somebody from a distance, but that's not personal. The warriors way back when had no problem sticking a knife in someone's throat. That's a whole completely different thing. But besides that, not everyone was a warrior back then. They got to look at the agriculture side, the spiritual side, farming, all that kind of stuff. Most of the people who followed it were farmers, not warriors, and so people just don't want to accept that kind of stuff, I guess. So I don't know. It's good and bad. So
That one was good. Since Amy jumped the line and brought up one of my other questions, we'll skip to that one. Um, h- how do you properly explain to people about Valhalla? That seems to be one of the main attractions people seem to have to heathenry is I'm going to die and I'm going to go to Valhalla. It's not I might, it's not if I do this I go. It is 100% concrete. If I die, I go to Valhalla. How do you react to that, Jordan? Oh wait, I said I was going backwards. Josh.
Oh, sweet. I'm up again. I like to talk. No. I've been known to get kind of aggressive with people. I try not to troll people or belittle them, but I am quick to correct, if that makes sense. And I've wrote many lengthy posts, both in many organizations and groups and stuff. I just basically start off by saying you got to get the whole mentality that Valhalla is, also true heaven out of your mind, because there are many places that you could go. A majority of people are going to go to Helheim, hell and all that fun stuff. But at the same time, you've got Valhalla, Folkvang. You could be called to Thor's Hall. You could go get called to Frigga's Hall. I'm sure there's more that I'm just not thinking of, but I just try to tell people, this isn't your only option. Here's what you got to do to get there. I don't think hardly anybody's worthy of going to that place anyway. Just keep that out of your head about the afterlife. Do what you can, I guess. If you impress another god or goddess and they feel inclined to invite you to their hall, that's on them. Don't bet on it.
Nice.
Even as a military member, Valhalla was never where I wanted to go. That's just not my personality. If I went to a warrior's place, I'd rather go to Folkvang with Freya. But even then, I'd rather go to Frigga's Hall or even just the Hall of my ancestors. I'd rather hang out with family and friends than fight and drink and be merry all day or whatever.
I did enough for that now. Nicole.
Usually my initial response to when somebody says that is, do you even know what it is? And I ask them, what do you think happens when you go to Valhalla? And they'll try to tell me, it's 9 times out of 10 they say, well, it's just basically heaven for somebody who's a heathen. And I'm like, no. And that's when I explain to them, it's half of the soldiers are taken by Freya, half are taken by Odin, and the reason that they're there is because they're training for Ragnarok, which basically means when Ragnarok happens, you're going to be obliterated. You will not exist anymore in any way, shape, or form. And when you explain that to them, oh, I'm like, yeah, and I go, not only that, I go, if you're reading the Eddas like you're supposed to, you would know that there are so many different levels to Yggdrasil and where you're going to go. And most likely you're going to go to hell. And it is, of course, when you say that, they're like, you mean place of fire? So you're like, okay, you're not reading. And I just usually end it there.
That's a good one. Amy. Honestly, I try not to get mad, and honestly, Valhalla kind of scares me. You are not the only one. I don't want to fight every freaking day or be under Odin 24/7. He is the Allfather and all, but not someone I want to be coddled up to. I try to explain it, but it never works. So I want to go. I'll put that out there right there. I want to go. Eric.
Yeah, me either. Sorry, I've done my share of fighting. I've been in my war. I don't want to fight every day if I can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I understand it, and most of this is from watching Neil Price, Valhalla was sort of a consolation prize anyway, because the goal was Helheim. The goal was to be with your family, with your ancestors. And Valhalla was a consolation prize for those guys who went off a Viking in case they died away from home. So
Good point.
Mm-hmm. Mine's kind of already been hit on. A lot of people say Valhalla is our equivalent to heaven, which is as far from the truth as it can get. I don't want to spend my afterlife fighting. I want to relax. I want to hang out with family and not train 24/7 for however millennia it's going to be until Ragnarok. Yeah, I did that, not doing it again. The other thing people don't understand is nowadays, literally today, 2017, nope, 2016, holy crap. No one's going to Valhalla unless you are a soldier overseas. Now, a lot of you know, I have a lot of mental, well, not a lot of mental illness. I have a lot of depression, anxiety, all that. That being said, against against some people's ideas, I guess, battling mental illness is not fighting on a battlefield.
Yes.
Personally, I do not think people with depression, anxiety, PTSD, whatever have you, I don't think that's the soldiers they're looking for. I don't think that's going to get you into Valhalla. A lot of people will say it will because, you know, I fight every day to overcome my illness. Yeah, we do, but I don't. I have depression. I don't want a depressed person fighting Ragnarok. I mean, we're all fucked anyway. But that just, to me personally, that is not grounds for entrance into Valhalla. Yeah, just like Amy said, it's a different form of courage and fighting, not the kind Valhalla looks for. If our military will not take you because you have depression, Odin is not going to take you because you have depression, which is mean. It really is. It's mean, and that's just the way I see it. Not everybody.
Yeah, no, I will nicely comment to those people that it's not the same kind of thing. Just to reiterate your point there, it's not the same kind of deal. And that's when I use the example of like actual fighting. It's like you have depression, but you know, and you're fighting through it, and that's great. But are you comfortable wielding a sword and cutting someone down, or you know, fighting like that? And that's when they're like, well, no. But it's like, okay, then why would you even want to go there in the first place?
Because people equivalent it to Valhalla. I mean, to heaven.
Right.
Jordan, I gotta go inside before my computer dies. If I fall, nobody laugh at me because my foot is asleep.
I'll still laugh.
No.
Don't fall.
Oh, that does not feel good. Ow.
My theory on it's pretty much been that Odin isn't looking for just average, everyday, someone that can hold a sword and take a hit so that someone else can get in a hit. He's looking for the best of the best that have ever fought. I mean, he's not just going to pick you because you were one of the best out of this group at this time. He is willing to wait and get the absolute best that he can possibly take in with him.
Ooh. Hang on, I gotta find my charger, which is somewhere. Please don't die on me. Okay. Shoot. What was the next thing I was gonna hit on? Patron gods and goddesses. If you feel comfortable sharing, because I know not a lot of people do you have a patron god and or goddess? And why? Jordan.
Not at this point in time.
Okay, hang on.
Hanging on, not letting go.
Oh, I'm too old. Move. Okay. Just throw dust in their eyes, you'll be okay. Yeah, that's true. I have two patron goddesses. Mine are both rather, well, Scotty's not. Mine are Scotty and Air. I've talked about this before, but Amy, you're new, and Nicole, I don't think you were here then. No, you weren't. My connection to Air started very unwillingly, I'll say. Very unwillingly. 5 years ago? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, my daughter was burned in a kitchen accident. She was eating a cup of soup and spilled the soup all down the front of her. And we rushed her to the emergency room. It was a on-base military hospital, which you only go there if you want to die. They told me my daughter had burns over 38% of her body, that she was going to die. She had to be life flighted to a specialized children's hospital 5 hours away. Now, Brandon was deployed at the time, so he was in Iraq. I lived 12 hours away from his family, and I lived, I think, like a 24-hour drive away from my family. So I panicked. I absolutely fucking panicked. I had no idea what to do. And there was this little voice in the back of my head that was just kind of like, if you recognize me, I'll help. I'll take care of you. The drive up to Kansas, I do not remember. I remember just this voice in this, it wasn't even really a voice, it was this pull towards Air, just kind of basically gift for a gift. You recognize me and I will help you treat her. I stopped driving as I was up there and pulled off the side of the road because I was just freaking out so much. When I finally got up to the hospital, we found out that her burns were not as bad as they had originally thought. They were still pretty significant. Any child my kid's age with burns like that would have been on a morphine drip, a constant morphine drip. And I walked into my daughter getting her hair braided and laughing with the nurses and watching SpongeBob and drinking milkshakes. And that was kind of my calling to pay more attention to Air. Since then, I've become a doula, a childbirth educator, a midwife. I'm just now getting into working with herbs with some help because I need help. So that's kind of where I got my pull to Air. I have a different relationship with Air than I have with Scotty. To me, Air is kind of the I don't want to say snooty because that's the wrong word, but the more sophisticated aunt, kind of the more sophisticated aunt that you go to for advice. My relationship with Scotty is more kind of like a friend, like someone you go to talk to when you need someone to bullshit with about your day. I hunt. I love winter. I was born in winter. I have a lot of attributes. I see a lot of my attributes in her. So that's kind of where I got my draw to her. Eric.
I don't currently have anyone that I would call a patron. This is kind of the first time in a lot of years I've been free of that situation, so I'm exploring. That's about all I can say about it.
Mm-hmm. Amy, did you type yours up yet, or do you need more time? Oh, perfect. All right. I'm not sure what a patron deity is. I just now got into more of the worship aspect because I am now only expanding on my path. I had depression for a while, and it kind of killed the road for a bit. Amy, after this, messaged me about the Spoons group. I
already added her to it a few days ago.
Awesome. That's how I have not been paying attention. Um, he's, wait, don't message because it threw mine off. Where was I? Okay, he's what brought me here. I respect him at arm's length, but I treat even Odin that way. I love you from over here. But yeah, he was the first one to ever be there for me, as odd as that sounds. If it were not for him, I'm not sure where I would be. He was the hard kick in the ass when I needed it. Eric has been my guide. Aww.
Tender moments.
Nicole. Unmute.
I'm trying. Okay, I have two, which is usually unheard of, but Odin and Freya.
I've
Odin,
never. Sorry.
what?
I said I've never
She's
heard of
being
them.
snarky.
I'm tired.
Odin, obviously, because the knowledge aspect. I had a vision when I was trancing when I think I was like 17. And he came to me and he told me that, if I want to know it, he will show it to me. And so I am never without a book. I'm never without wanting to know. I always understand my place, that, I am forever on a journey to just learn and to always, be consuming something knowledge-wise, if it's in a book or if it's on a website or anything like that. And I really look for him for that, because he's a great example of that. No matter what he's done, no matter where he goes, he's always wandering to learn things. He gave his eye for more knowledge. He's constantly wanting to know, and that's exactly how I am. So I always look to him for anything, especially when I'm teaching myself something. As far as Freya, because she's the one who taught Odin about Seder, and I've been practicing that since I was 15. So understand. I probably will, but she is very good at teaching how it's to be more comfortable in your sexuality, to use your gifts, how to trance. And the main thing that stuck out with me with Freya when she became one of my patrons is it talks about how the people were wanting to learn about the magic, and so she was teaching them, and then they realized that they were relying on it too much and that they were wanting to do it too much. So their idea of fixing that problem was to kill her, and they tried to burn her 3 times, and each time she just rose again, almost kind of like a phoenix, but she just rose again, and they try to kill her again and try to kill her again. And because of certain things that I've dealt with in my life, especially through certain aspects, I kind of feel that connection with her, where because you try to do good and you try to help people and you just get burned for it. And so that is a lot of the reason why she's one of my patrons.
That's awesome. Josh.
Are you kidding me? This is fucking bullshit.
Did Jordan get a chance to go? I feel like we skipped Jordan.
He went first.
Oh, my bad.
You can't give your spot away.
Nice try, though.
Dang it, so close. I do. It was kind of a trippy experience for me because I'll try and make this as short as I can. So I have been accused many, many times of being too analytical for some of the more mystical elements of heathenry or just the world in general. And so I had literally been asking for advice on how to meditate, because that's how not into that kind of stuff I was and stuff. But in that process, I had been thinking about patron gods, but I didn't think one would ever come to me kind of deal, just because of my analytical mindedness. I'm more of I try to do things by the books or stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, I was in bed one night, almost ready to sleep, but I was having a hard time sleeping. And I heard a voice, and this is in the barracks, so it's just me by myself in a room. And it was like a voice that was like, I could hear it right next to my ear, like in a loud whisper, if that makes sense. Like they're whispering, but they're not whispering very quietly. And it said something to the effect of like, search for me or search for the answer, something like that. So I decided to attempt meditating the next night and made a whole bunch of preparatory stuff to try and do that. In that meditation, apparently I was successful because after about 5 minutes of sitting there thinking I was just about ready to give up kind of deal, I went on a very long journey, so to speak, in which I saw a lot of different things that I won't get into right now because it's not very pertinent. But in that part of the journey, I got a lot of communication from, or what I thought was communication. I don't want to say for a fact it was, and y'all think I'm crazy or not, but from Frey, or whatever you want to pronounce his name. And it seemed like he was trying to claim me, which at first, I mean, I was accepting of it, kind of, but I was confused because I was not much of a follower of Frey to begin with. I had tried my best, and I know there's a common saying, you don't pick who claims you, you got to wait for them to claim you kind of deal, but I had tried as best I could to be worthy of Tyr, and so I was really confused why Frey was calling me, just because I wasn't so much of an earthy person or mystical-y person, kind of deal like that. But I started doing more and more research. That was kind of my kick in the butt. It's like, okay, rather than read his names and hear a couple stories, do a little bit more research on him kind of stuff. And I found a lot of other different things that I could relate to Frey with. And then since then, I would still say that I still feel like he wants me for something, not sure what that is. And I do make offerings to him very often, but I think we're in the getting to know each other stage, if that makes sense. And so, I've come to accept that Frey wants me. Just got to figure out how I'm to serve him and how that's going to benefit. I know from my offerings with him, there's been other blessings that he has hold of and given to me, but we'll see where it goes from there, I guess. I don't know. That's probably a crappy answer compared to your guys' stories, but
No, that was really good.
That was an awesome answer, dude.
it was personal to me, but hard to explain to others.
Perfect.
The thing is, a lot of us get it.
I am here.
You are still decked out in your, I don't know what we call it.
War paint?
All right, I just posted a link in the chat that somebody just sent me.
Can't read it. It's too small. I've tried to enlarge it and I just can't.
It's that back and forth between me and Seth,
Heathenry.
where I publicly embarrassed him.
I just posted this link, 10, 15 minutes ago? If you go down that group that I just sent,
Yeah. So the
I
text
don't-
is loading?
oh, honey, you've been gone.
You know what?
We done fucked their shit up.
What happened?
We broke off from TAC finally, and South Central officially has 35 members because everybody left. Amy, that is a link to a Facebook group someone just sent me where I posted on a quick website that I just threw together, kind of a response that I wrote to all the shit happening between me and TAC. And I posted it on the American Ostrich page that Jordan and I were bantering back and forth with people. And it's already posted other places now.
Yeah, I looked today. The Heathenry, Why Fucking Bother Anymore, is a big troll page, and they've kind of jumped on the situation, as well as that fake American Ostrich Association one. that tried to get us to attack a while ago. They've jumped in on it, and the fake TAC page also. And they are both. They're all three of them. I think they're all run by the same people, but regardless, all three of them are in big support of us and what went down, kind of deal.
Nice. All right.
Never thought I would agree with on those pages, but I told them I went to the fake AAA page and told them to keep doing what they do. So it's nice to see some support, I guess.
Aaron, what's the word of the day?
Scholar.
Aaron, no.
According to
What's the
Sesame
word
Street,
of the day?
I don't know what. Skala. Jansborg. Vinland. Kirad. Oh.
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 Usurp.
Oh.
Jen said usurp.
Jen had it right. She gets a cookie.
All right. Who do I not know in here? Hi, Nicole. Hi, Amy. I'm
Hello.
Aaron or Alan Bjorn, whichever one you wish. I'm not an
Hi.
IC fan. I just did a Viking invasion. And awesome.
This is crazy.
You know what I just thought of, Christina?
Huh.
No, I was just saying about Odin. Kind of makes sense about what happened yesterday that I was telling you about.
What happened yesterday?
It does.
It does.
What
I'm
happened
like,
yesterday?
oh, look, a blessing.
Wow.
I got stood up.
Bless you. Oh, Aaron, this is Amy. You can't see or hear her, but she really is not an imaginary person, I promise. Even though most of the other people y'all can't see or hear.
I have actually physically seen her once.
Yes.
I know she's imaginary. It's a ghost typing.
Amy needs a camera and a mic. Hey, do you have a cell phone? Because you can download the program onto a cell phone. It's like waiting for a Ouija board to answer you. Yeah, go to whatever phone you have. Go to the Play Store or App Store and download Zoom. At least that way you can talk to us.
Let me tell you how awesome this weekend was. We had a campfire at night, and we were actually passing around a bottle of mead.
That's awesome.
Just let that sink in. We didn't run out of booze. We actually brought some back with us. I didn't, but as a group, we all did.
Usually.
This is really kind of interesting that it did this.
What did what? Oh, the troll pages?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their spies, and apparently, according to some of them, they actually have spies that are ambassadors as well and have been feeding information.
Wait, there's troll pages for TAC?
Yes, pretty much specifically for tech. And
Yeah, Seth was on the tech charter page a couple of times trying to get one of them shut down, asking members to go report it.
yeah, there's 3 pages that I know of. There's a fake tech page, there's the fake AAA page, and then there's one that's called Heathenry ? Why fucking bother anymore? It's all the same, like 20, 30 people, but same information, I guess. I don't know.
Well, usually when things like that happen, there's a reason. Does anybody know the reason why?
They don't believe in. They're hardcore reconstructionists. Like everything has to be backed up by source codes and everything. Like a lot of their stuff I don't agree with. And then they just hate any and all forms of national organization. They think everything should be limited to a specific community.
And I'm sure they're also disgruntled ex-TAC people.
That's what I was thinking.
A couple of them are, and I got some of the information about that prior Texas incident from one of them. So
All right, so what? So the troll pages are on our side.
Yep.
Your hand.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's keep it that way, shall we?
Yeah, I commented on on the fake AAA page, and I was like, I never thought I would,
I just went and saw that.
tell you guys to keep doing what you're doing, but I had to apologize to some of them for not listening when I should have. But at the same time, it served its purpose for me, and I'm better off for it, I guess.
Hey, we all drink the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
Welcome to the Red Pill. I will be your guide.
Do
Christina,
you have a white rabbit? Yes, yes. Let me go back. Yes.
I found someone. And you'll never guess who I found.
Real? Is she real? Or did she come out of a box?
Nope. The person is very real, but it's not that kind of find.
Okay.
I found someone who's been into heathenry longer than I have.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
And yes, he's also been alive a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, well, that tends to happen.
I love this fake page. I never want to take it off.
Oops.
What did Trevor
bad.
just post? There are some nasty rumors going around from some nasty people, but what no, there will always be those who, out of spite, hate, and jealousy, seek to destroy that which they can no longer be a part of. The bylaws, ethics, and code of conducts of this organization are not a permeable wall that certain individuals who feel entitled can pass through doing what they wish. No, the bylaws, as far as this community is concerned, are law. If you choose not to follow them, then you choose not to be in this community. It's pretty cut and dry. Break the bylaws, and the board will vote on your removal. Yeah, but I didn't break a bylaw.
I'd say they're trying to attack me and you for talking out against them now.
Oh, what a shame. So, yeah, all members, charter or otherwise, are required to read bylaws and understand this. Blah, 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 blah.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
just...
when did
Well,
that
it's basically
come out? Because that may actually be response to me stirring shit up on the main open TAC page earlier today.
He just posted this now. The internet is a dark, horrible place filled with strange things and people. Don't believe all you read. TAC is 100% transparent.
Who said that?
This is in our group chat. This is what Seth wrote. Transparent organization whose records and files, as with any other legitimate organization, can be requested through the proper channels at any time. Many forms and information, such as our 990 form, can be found already on our website for public viewing. If you really want to learn about TAC, our policies, and what we really do, please visit our website. We have a large staff almost always available to help members and non-members alike with anything we can.
Well, and part of the problem is because I've had people ask for their documents and stuff. But they'll tell you to go through the proper channels, but those proper channels will just lead you in an endless loop without any answers. And technically, all they really show or have shown in the past are tax statements, which can be, I mean, you can claim that you only made so much money, but whether or not that's true, it could be up for interpretation. But so far, they won't release any of their monies coming in or going out of the organization, which is, as a charity organization, they're supposed to information on.
And a big thing is, TAC will not tell you that your donations are tax deductible, because then you're going to submit them to the IRS, and the IRS is going to follow that paper trail to see what TAC did it.
Right, and like my wife, she was a treasurer of the, what do they call it? The FRG board for my last, And she was a treasurer, and she was like, well, as a treasurer, I had to document and submit and file every deposit, every transaction, every withdrawal, everything that came in and out of that bank statement. So the fact that they're not willing to do that is alarming.
Yep. Yeah, and if you ask, they kick you out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tank! I get tanks. Yay.
Okay, so I kind of just killed our discussion. I'm sorry.
All right, so who's the new person? Is it Amy?
Amy, meet Aaron. Aaron is the other ambassador for Tax South Central.
Okay. Because I haven't seen Nicole ever.
You haven't?
I thought you were on the last one that Nicole was in.
Nope.
When was the last one?
No, last
That
one he was
last
in
night. He wasn't
Milwaukee.
I haven't had a weekend home within a month's time. Rather enjoying it. Yes, Amy, I am the other Texas ambassador for the Satcher community.
Well, now you're not the other. You are the
You're
only.
Yeah, you were the only one. You and Seth are going to work together to find a new ambassador. Hey, tell Gandalf and Chris Rock to shut up.
Can't. Gandalf's not here.
You leave Gandalf and Chris Rock out of this.
So Nicole and Amy, Aaron is in a band and he lives with two of his bandmates, and one of them looks like Chris Rock and the other one looks like Gandalf.
Good to know.
I think she's AFK.
I take it that was the end of the class for the night.
Yeah, I think so. I'm sorry.
Class about.
Hey, we had some good discussions. I liked it.
It was kind of getting back to basics of heathenry.
Oh,
Well, kind of more just
Before anybody leaves, if y'all could, please, I wrote a post in the group about what anybody wants to learn as a class. So if you could answer that for me, please let me know, because I'm trying to think of what I want to do for my first class, and I'd like everybody's opinion.
say that.
And I will do Sayer for anybody who wants to do that. But that'll probably be a separate thing. I won't do that first because I want to wait and talk to each person individually who wants to do that.
I posted 2 ideas. Well, one of them could be broken up into multiple ideas. But
I'm the
Yeah, and
marksman. I will soon be blacksmithing.
I did my duty. It's time for the rest of you slackers to post something in there.
Jordan, cancel or stop the recording.